Okay. Well, we had more technical difficulties. My brand new camcorder is doing 30 minutes one disc and 20 minutes the next.
So you're
So.
getting it broke in anyway.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's breaking me in. Okay. So then you have 5 kids, and Judy is the oldest, and she's 52.
Right.
And where does she live?
She lives in Butte, Montana.
In Butte, Montana. Okay.
She's a mental health professional.
Okay. How many kids does she have?
She doesn't have any.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
She was married and divorced, and she's not married again.
Okay.
So.
All right.
And then Miriam is 50.
And Miriam lives here in Sheridan.
She lives here in
Obviously,
Sheridan.
she plays the piano at the church.
Yeah, and
Okay.
she has 2 children.
Okay.
Leslie is 24.
Right.
And she's the one who's just now getting married in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Vanessa is 21.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
she has the autoimmune disease?
yes.
And she lives in Denver?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And,
Well, it's awfully young to be struggling with that.
yeah,
And Leslie lives in, Maryland. She works in Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
and Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Leslie works at the National Institute of Health
Okay.
in Bethesda, Maryland. And her fiance lives in Cleveland, and he's an executive with.
So she's going to move to Cleveland?
I don't think they've actually settled all that yet.
Oh.
Where they're going to live.
But they're getting married in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the third child is Linda, and she lives in Iowa. She's married to Bert Simbro, and they both work at the Pella Window Factory,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been there for over 25 years.
And she's how old?
She's 48.
Okay.
And then the next one is Maureen. Or Linda doesn't have any children either. And Maureen is 40. What? 40? Yes.
What year was she born?
No, she's 41.
No, she's 41, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She's 41. She lives in Casper. And she was working at the Sofa Mart down there as a salesperson, and she left the job there. And as far as I know, she doesn't have another job yet. She's never been married. She has no children. And then the youngest is Michael, and he is a technician at the Cargill corn milling plant in Eddyville, Iowa. And he's been there for a number of years, and he graduated from Iowa State University. And
He'll be 41 this coming August?
he'll be
Or
he'll be 40 in August.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And he's never been married, doesn't have any children.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's.
And then, and then like I always say, Carol's got 5 kids, and I've got 2 grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like Carol had mentioned, my Vanessa, the youngest of the 2, had been my best buddy since she was a baby. I love them both, but little Vanessa, when the first time Miriam left her with us overnight, when she left, Vanessa was crying,
Mm-hmm.
and she cried. And Carol was walking with her and talking to her and trying to get her quiet. And I asked her 2 or 3 times, let me hold her and try, see. And Carol finally was getting exasperated with me too, and she said, I think I've had more experience with babies than you have, which she had.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally said, please let me have the baby. And anyway, she gave me the baby, and I started talking to her and fiddling my finger around on hers. Pretty soon she was holding my finger and quieting down. Pretty soon she had her little fist up in my beard playing, and pretty soon she was cooing at me just like she was just the happiest little thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I showed Carol how to handle babies.
Yeah. Bet that one over.
But she has been my little buddy ever since. When they'd come out and spend time with us, even when she was a little 3 or 4 year old, when we'd go outside to work, she would say, I'm gonna help Grandpa today. And
Uh,
she stayed with Grandpa and helped me do everything I did.
well, but they're grown up though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we've got a lot of wonderful memories of the times that they spent out there and all the fun that we had together and,
Yeah, I've been with a lot of my nieces and nephews for different amounts of time, but I left home early enough and was in other parts of the country that I didn't see them often enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I never spent as much time with any of my own nieces and nephews and so forth as I have with Leslie and Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
So they are just like my kids, really.
That's cool.
yeah, and the kids remember, both of them when they're talking to us, they'll say, oh, I remember the time that we did so-and-so, you know, and one time we had to deliver something to someone, I can't even remember what the deal was, but anyway, Roy rode in the back of the pickup with the two girls, and it looked like it was gonna rain,
Mm-hmm.
and so Roy said, I think we're gonna get wet. I think I felt a drop or two of rain, and Vanessa said, I felt 11.
Yeah, I never will forget that.
That sounds like Emily.
She needed to put a number on that, and she did.
That sounds like
Yeah.
Emily.
That's
hilarious.
About that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you moved to Casper, I guess you moved here with Michael. He'd have been 10, and you moved here with Miriam. No, she'd have been 20, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
No, she
Marion
was already married.
Yeah.
Her and Judy were married.
Okay.
And Linda, no, Linda wasn't married yet, was she?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she was married,
She
sure.
was. But when
So
I
is
moved
Michael
to
the only one
Casper,
who moved here with you?
I moved to Casper with the idea that Michael was going to come and live
Mhm.
with me because Maureen had decided she wanted to live with her dad
Right.
in Spearfish.
In Spearfish?
Yeah.
South Dakota.
Oh, Spearfish is a town.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant live with her dad and Spearfish. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And
In Spearfish.
in Spearfish,
Yeah.
South
Okay.
Dakota, yeah. And so anyway, we made arrangements to go up to Spearfish and pick Michael up and bring him to Casper. And when we got there, I found out that they hadn't made any such plans.
Mm.
And so we took the kids to spend the day with them, and Michael said that his dad wanted him to stay there with him. And so that's what they ended up doing. The two of them stayed with their dad. And then Maureen decided that she didn't want to stay there, so she went back to Iowa to live with her sister and her husband there.
And Maureen was how old?
She was about 14 at the time, I think, when she went back
When
there.
she went back there, yeah,
Yeah.
she probably was 14 by then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because they
And she
were all,
didn't- She
they
didn't
were-
like Spearfish, and she knew she wouldn't like Casper, and she was just,
She
I
wanted to
guess
go
the
back and
divorce
be.
was not,
She wanted to go back and be with her friends.
she wanted to be back in Iowa.
Iowa, yeah.
and she wanted her mama and daddy back and
Right.
be in the same farmhouse. I had a hard time accepting that she couldn't go back and live in the same farmhouse with
Right.
mom and dad.
Yeah,
It was,
Understand.
she had a hard time coming up with that.
right, and
Understand.
it took years for her to reach that.
And I think I bothered her too. She didn't, she wanted to be with her mom, but she didn't want to be with me.
Yeah,
I understand.
So
Yeah.
she stayed with her sister and she was happier there, I guess. Well, I know she was happier there than she'd have been with either her dad and his new wife or else with her mom and her husband, so.
yeah.
But she
And
was
Michael
able to
seemed-
stay in the same school that she'd gone to for a few
Right.
years that way too.
Yeah, she
so.
graduated there,
I
and then
understand
Michael
that.
did too. Michael, my ex-husband went with his new wife and went back there to live, and so Michael graduated there too. But Michael is more adaptable. He could be anywhere, and he came out and spent time with us various times.
Yeah.
In
Well, and he
Wyoming.
was younger too.
Yeah,
The older they are, the harder it is.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I mean, when you're younger, you don't have as many memories and stuff like that, and roots put down, and
Yeah.
And
it's
Maureen
different.
is the type of person who really dwells on memories.
Well, and she was also at that age where it highly affected her too, where the
Yeah.
other ones were older and
Yeah.
could say, you know, well, we kind of got our own deal going. She was at that transition point,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that hit hard.
Yeah, it did.
I
And
understand.
but she's always been and still is very hooked up on memories
Sure.
and keeping things that belong to her grandparents
Right.
and things like that. She's
Yep.
really wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
But
So you're in Sheridan, been married 28 years, and happy.
we had some great years out in
Or you're
Story.
faking it really well over here.
Well, don't have to fake it.
Oh no.
No.
No, like I said, in all honesty, that's one of the best things that ever happened to me is when I met Carol.
That's awesome.
I couldn't believe I'd be so lucky. I think somehow, I don't know how this would sound to people, but I really think when I was still single, I had no ambition of staying anywhere and getting ahead. I always worked hard, but I always wanted to go play. I
Mhm.
saved my money and I love to go camping.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a whole lot of the western states, the country that I really love.
Mm-hmm.
And I think later, when I lost my sight in '59, I just wonder if, I don't know, I don't know whether to say it that way or not, but I've often wondered if God was telling me it's out there, go look at it, because you're not going to be able to always.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I dwelled on anything or thought something was gonna happen. I don't remember thinking that. But, I spent a lot of time having a lot of fun, seeing a lot of country, and, I look back on that and I'm awfully glad I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always had so much confidence in my abilities to do anything.
Yeah.
He'll say, "Can you sew up something like this for me?" And he'll show me a pouch that he wants for one of his guns or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
When we had the place in Story, I had never had the confidence to drive a vehicle and pull a trailer and back a
Mhm.
trailer and all that, and I'd always been told I was too stupid to do that.
Her husband told her she couldn't.
So,
She didn't have enough sense to back a trailer, so.
and so he'd always said, "You can do anything." You know, he's always had that confidence. And
No, and then when we got a trailer, we needed to haul things when we were building, I said, you can back that trailer. Just practice. If it goes the wrong way, go forward and go again. Just keep trying. Pretty soon, she was not an expert. I wouldn't turn her loose on a semi, but you sure handled that trailer all right. You did what we needed,
yeah,
and you couldn't do it until we talked about it.
right.
Oh.
And I'd never handled a chainsaw.
And you probably said, well, I guarantee you can do it better than I can right now.
Well, when we got that place in Story with all these trees that needed to come down because they were beetle infested, he said, "Well, I'm going to get a chainsaw," and he says, "I know I can handle it." And I said, "No way." So if one of us has to use a chainsaw, it's going to be me. And
I could have done some of that sawing, but she wouldn't let me.
no,
I really could have.
and
I'm
so
sure you could have.
he would climb up in the tree and hook the chain around it,
Mm-hmm.
get the come along and pull the tree enough, and then I would start cutting, and we'd lay the trees down. I'd cut a little bit and he'd jack it a little bit further, and we'd cut the trees down, and then once we had them down, he would go along, sit on the trunk and go along the trunk and cut off the excess limbs, and then he would mark them in 18-inch pieces, and we'd cut them. And we cut
That was
some
a
awful
lot
big
of
trees.
work.
We cut a lot of cords of wood, and I split all that with my splitter.
That was a lot of work.
when we'd go into a winter, we'd have, let's see, how many racks did I have? 4? 3 of them big ones?
Mhm.
And then I had one I kept over by the garage, that partial thing. So we had racks that I built them so my main racks would hold 1 cord of wood
Mm-hmm.
and of 18-inch lengths.
Then we had the storage area in the garage,
And
that
then
held a half a cord.
And that held a half cord.
Yeah.
And then we could leave some, we could leave it out in the weather and so forth. So we had that much starting every winter, but we had so much timber that had to come down. So we never ran out of timber. And then an oil company owned the 200 and some acres behind us, and the guys had told me down in Casper, they said, you don't need, you got our permission and no one's gonna say anything to you. Just go cut anything you want. So we had a place off of our own then, after we thinned it out, to cut all the timber we wanted.
That was nice.
But boy, it was work, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
But we enjoyed it at that time.
Yeah.
And we got a Bobcat. I told her she could drive a Bobcat too. She could operate that. Well, she got where she could handle a bucket, smooth out a driveway and move bumps out of it. She would pull stumps and while I'd cut roots on the other side. And we handled that thing and did a lot of work.
Mhm.
Those pictures, that was a pretty place.
It's a beautiful place. Mhm. Yeah, and we built the house, well, we built the garage first, and then we built the house, and then we built another little shed, a little, small garage
Kind of a workshop
for a
thing.
workshop.
I kept my radial arm in. I had